everybody. So we're gonna do, this is gonna be a little bit of a longer video. We're going to do a 2025 so far recap plus a little bit of catch up with some book mail and some recent purchases that I want to talk to you guys about. So we're gonna start with the book mail. First up, June book of the month box for Eternal Embers. The author is Tara DeWitt. So we have Savor It, which I'm obsessed with the end papers for this one. I don't even know if that's focused. And then these ones weren't signed, but can we just talk about this character art? I'm obsessed. And then I don't think I actually showed it. End papers, not end papers, and spine. Sprayed edges, that's the word I was looking for. So this was the first one. And the second one for June was also Tara DeWitt, Funny Feelings. The edges are gorgeous. And then that's the back. I don't think I showed the back for that one. But end papers, again, not signed. There's the character art. Character art. Stunning. Okay, so that's those. And then with it, we have stickers. Gorgeous. It's one sticker for each is in there. It's not going to focus. Maybe it will. There we go. Which are going to end up in, hang on, my sticker book. Putting them in now with the rest of our Eternal Embers stickers. Okay. I have a couple other stickers to put in there, but back on with this, we have the keychains that came with it instead of a slipcase. So we have, I have one on my other hand, hold on. Funny Feelings umbrella. We have the ducks from Savor It. And then, because I haven't read either book, I don't know which one this is. It's the Origami Swans, Cranes? I think Cranes. So I don't know exactly which one this goes to. It might also go to the add-on book. We're gonna find out. We're gonna read them. And then my last little piece of, well, I actually lied. We have this that came in the mail. Welcome to the Poppyverse. I joined author Poppy Jacobson's influencer team, and I got this little welcome thing in the mail, so it came with the card. And these are all the characters from her current books. So, as you can tell, they all YChoose, which y'all know I love my YChoose books. And then it came with these stickers. So the first one says, Murder, Mayhem, Smut. We have the Focus, and my Dark Hockey Romance era, which her blurb reveal went out today. Arc signups are up. Cover reveal went out. I think cover reveal is out. And I'm gonna link the arc signups down below. Go sign up. Promise you, you're gonna love it. She is amazing when it comes to the dark YChoose, especially the sports ones. And then the other one, Poppy. Oh my god, it's not focusing. Maybe. Poppy Jacobson's. Oh my goodness, stop focusing on my face. Poppy Jacobson's influencer team, Pretty Little Killers, which is the name of the influencer team. So those are the stickers I got. And the only other piece of book mail I have, my Kindle and some other books are in the way. Hold on. We have, from Maddie, of course, the OG cover for the Breakout. Stunning as always. Y'all know, love my man Cole Wheeler. On my Kindle too, we got his jersey number. And then Wheeler's Princess. If you guys can hear that, by the way, it's my cat. She's been crying all day because she wants to go outside and she's an indoor cat. And then signed as well. Okay, so then last thing I wanted to do, two more things I wanted to do. I lied. Sorry, I have an eyelash. Ooh, I did get it. Is recent purchases. First up, don't know whether to be scared or excited. We're gonna find out. Severed Heart by Kate Stewart. It is book 2 in the Ravenhood Legacy. I am currently reading One Last Rainy Day, so we're gonna get to this week. But everyone's saying it's making them cry, so we'll see what happens to me, because we're gonna talk about this series in a little bit. And the last one I just put back here for no reason. I finally got First Time Caller. Trying to read this one this month as well. As you can see, I got a lot of books to read. I have 2 TBR cards. They have gone down a lot. I will say that they have gone down. There is progress in them. But this one, and then I found out book 2 actually comes out on my birthday. So, we're gonna read book 1, and then book 2 for my birthday. It's my birthday present to myself. And then the last thing I want to open before we get in, I'm dropping the keychains, to the 2025 so far recap is a blind date with a book. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you know I put up a poll, fantasy, YA mystery. I got one of each at a Sculpture Gardens gift shop yesterday. And they're both from, they're sold, they're both sold third party, so the actual company that makes them is the Midnight Readers Bookshop. So here's all their information, and then I'm also going to link their Instagram below. And the card says, blind date with a book, from fast-paced to slow burn, inside can be the best blind date you've ever had. So I had 2 choices. I'm going to put the card back in for aesthetic. I had 2 choices, fantasy or YA mystery, because they didn't have any romance left. And I actually ended up getting both. But, as I said, I had a choice. I could open one now and one for Christmas. So between outside votes and the Instagram poll, fantasy won. So we're going to open the fantasy one. And the hint is, the question rips him apart. So, let's open this blind date with a book. Put the page there. Gonna take the card back out. I don't want to rip anything. Like, I know these are stickers. Maybe it's better to take the tie off first. I just don't want to rip these stickers. Except I'm already kind of ripping that one. They're like really taped on. We're gonna come back to getting the stickers off. Maybe. I cannot get this opened. You guys, this is really sad for me. Okay, well, I didn't want to find out the book that early, so all I got was that. That's not very helpful. But I probably don't need to keep that. Anyways, let's try to get these stickers off. Here's the tape. I cannot get this, and I love the facial expressions that are happening right now. Okay. Now, let's see if I can get, ooh, we got one. A book a day keeps ignorance away. I love that. That's just fun. I'm trying to get this without spoiling what it is so far. Book on, world off. And the last one kind of ripped it because of the adhesive. The last one says, reading in progress, do not disturb. I think I have that one in pink too, so if it ripped a little bit, it's a little bit okay. Alright, what book was in the fantasy one? Ooh, and it's a new book I've never heard of, and a new author. The King of Infinite Space. Let's see, what is it? In this lush, magical, queer, and feminist take on Hamlet in modern-day New York City, a Neuroatypical philosopher is caught up in otherworldly events surrounding the death of his father. Okay. Meet Ben Dane, brilliant, devastating, devoted, honest to a fault, truly a fault. His Broadway theater baron father is dead, but by a purpose or accident. The question rips him apart. Unable to face alone his mother's ghastly remarriage to his uncle, Ben turns to his dearest friend, Horatio Patel, whom he hasn't seen since their relationship changed forever from platonic to something other. Loyal to a fault, truly to a fault, Horatio is on the first flight to NYC when he finds himself next to a sly tailor who pretends inevitable disaster and who seems ominously like an architect of mayhem himself. Meanwhile, Ben's ex-fiancée, Leah, sundered from her loved one thanks to her addiction recovery and torn from her art, has been drawn into the folds of three florists from New Orleans, seemingly ageless sisters who teach her the language of flowers and whose magical bouquets hold both curses and cures for a price. On one explosive night, these kinetic forces will collide, and the only possible outcome is death. But in the masterful hands of Lindsay Fay, the story we all know has abundant surprises in store. Impish, captivating, and achingly romantic, this is Hamlet as you've never seen it before. What else has she written? So this is the same person who wrote The Paragon Hotel and Jane Steele. I've never heard of this author before, but this just looks so cute. I'm very intrigued. So this was the fantasy one. There is a YA mystery one, but that one's not getting open for another 6 months. So this is just the neatest hardcover. Nothing really special to it. I now have adhesive on my finger from getting those stickers off. But so that is the fantasy one. And oh my goodness, my foot is falling asleep right now. It's kind of insane. One moment, we're readjusting. That's gonna go back on its shelf. Okay, so we're gonna get into 2025 so far. And this does not have an order. I did try to give it one. It does not have one. We're gonna talk. I've read over 100 books this year. I think I'm at 120 right now. I think I'm at 120. June was a slow reading month. In the month of June total, I've read 9 books so far. I'm trying to make it 10 because last month I read 21 books. So I'm trying to make it 10 by reading One Last Rainy Day all in one day. But it is currently 10 o'clock and I have to go to work at 1. So we'll see what happens. Most of the books I have read this year, I feel like were either arcs or just on my Kindle. Because when I was picking, I'm a generous, if you guys know how I rate books, like you see my Goodreads, whatever, I'm a generous 5-star. Like, I could very well just give 5 stars based on vibes. I could really not like the plot, but I'll give you 5 stars if I love the vibes. It happens sometimes. These are the books in my room that I have physical copies of right now that I felt like vibes, plot, everything generally were 5 stars to me that I've read this year. I feel like there's more that I'm missing. I just couldn't think of it. There is one I didn't grab, but that's because I'm literally staring at it and realized, forgot to grab that one. We'll grab it in a little bit. So let's get on with this. Again, there's no particular order, no reading order, nothing. Just the order I grabbed it in is how we're going to talk about it. So, first up, I feel like I don't need words. 5 stars, 100% recommend. That would be my cat. She likes to come in my room, but she's not allowed in here anymore because when she comes in, I have found she's eating my books. Yeah, I did say that. As I was saying, Onyx Storm, 100% recommend. I don't think there's any words to describe this. And by the way, my Instagram, 100% behind on review posts. I'm still missing posts forever from arcs from the whole year so far. Still have to post those. But we're getting there. I'm going to catch up one day. But yeah, Onyx Storm, eventually we'll have a review on my Instagram. Couldn't even pick a quote yet for this one for my actual journal, which is also behind. Everything's behind for reviews for me. But my reading isn't, which is good. But 100% recommend. 5 stars all around. Dying waiting for book 4, but I'll survive. I will survive. I promise you. I'm gonna survive it. Next up, in the world of hardcovers, I couldn't pick one or the other because Cain exists. That's all I gotta say. So the entirety of the Uncaged Duet, these men, everything, and this is the omnibus version. Again, I couldn't pick just one. It wasn't happening, so I picked both. 5 stars all around. Arc read them both. My favorite man. Other than Colt Miller, of course, by Maddie Danielle. Colt Miller comes first, and then it's all of these men. Specifically Cain, but Uncaged. Maddie Danielle. Read it. Okay. I kind of want to do the dark romances first while I'm there. So, Talking Obsessed. Talking Possessive comes out this month. Not this month, sorry, because it's still June. July, so technically this month because it's currently June 30th. Arc Red, PR Box, and now on her street team, Forever Obsessed with London. Forever. All the artwork is currently in the front. Which I actually have a lot of this artwork because I also got an envelope from Havoc and London with artwork in it. But Forever Obsessed with Hayden Lockwood. He might get topped by the other characters in this book. Specifically, or by the other characters she wrote in. However, Hayden will get topped if Hayden Gray's story comes out. Read your new book, burn it. Why am I forgetting the title? This is so bad. I literally just read the book too. My brain is failing. Anyways, read her new book. I will put the title here once my brain fart stops. I've read so many books it's impossible at this point to remember why I'm forgetting book titles. Anyways, read the new book. You'll understand who Hayden Gray is and why he might get topped if he gets his own book. That might happen. I'm trying so hard to convince her. Anyways, there we go. No words. Amazing Men. That's kind of the plot too for that one, by the way. Let's go back to that real quick. Actually, the plot. He saves her, touch her and die. Literally everything. Okay? Literally everything. And did I mention she's his stepsister? It's so fun. You guys have to read this. I promise you. It's so worth it. It's on KU. Or you can get the paperback. I recommend the paperback. Because the paperback comes with... I have the alternate cover, but the paperback, you can get it with the mail cover. Freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. Where's my next dark romance? Okay, it's at the bottom, so we're just gonna keep going in the order I have them stacked. Jasper. Jasper. This man. Everything that he does for Sloane. And the fact that he tells her that she's his person. He saves her. He helps her. He loves her no matter what happens. This man. So perfect. I feel like you can tell I'm rating off of the men in the books. But no, seriously. This one was by far my favorite in the Chestnut Spring series. I loved them all. Absolutely love Lucy Silver. Jasper was all-time my favorite. The way he cared for Sloane and did everything he could to protect her from day one. And helped her get out of her own wedding. And helped her chase her dreams. Everything that this man did for her is why this book is 5 stars. There's no question. This man made this book a 5-star read for me. And I will forever be grateful this is my favorite Chestnut Springs books. It's never gonna get topped. And with Chestnut Springs, I feel like I need like a whole other book just on Jasper and Sloane's relationship, personally, but literally my favorite one. Took me like a day to read, which it took me like a day and a half to read the other ones. Read this one in a day, I think. Maybe wrong. But that one. Next up, The Striker. My girl, Ana Huang, always does it for me. Always. Always. And the fact that she was a ballerina, mwah, even better. As a former dancer, loved it 100%. Yes, I'm singing my reviews now. I personally loved the tension between them, but the way that Asher helps her feel about her body and recover from everything while also her training him, it's everything to me. And the way he protects her. Everything. I also think part of the way I just said that review was mixing with the next book, and you'll see why. You'll see why my reviews for this and the next book were mixing. But he trains her, she trains him. The tension grows. Brothers teenate. You know, it's got the vibes, it's got the plot, characters. So excited for The Defender. Cannot wait. Anyways, as I was saying, my reviews were getting mixed up. Come on. I think we all know this book was by far one of the best contemporary romances of the year. Of the year. And I know it came out last year. I think it did. Am I wrong on that? Now I'm questioning myself. Yeah, it came out last year. But it might be my contemporary romance of the year. I could be lying when I say that, because I say that about every book. But this one, cried, laughed, loved, everything. So, again, ballerina, personal to me, love when it connects, when I can connect because of the dancer. So, as always, like I've said, Rebecca Yarros, mwah, amazing woman she is. Writes the best men, writes the best plots, and we have variation. And I also just gave it an extra star for the cover because duh. But I have no words to describe this one. Okay, that's why I'm like all over the place right now. This book, everything to me, and I could not think of a better story. 100%. This actually helped me with my mental health when I was reading it, because I was just like in a really dark spot, and reading this book, reading their story, it kind of saved me in a way, like from my depression. So 100% no words, but I'll 100% read. And sticking with Rebecca Yarros, man, this book. So I thought I did not read the trigger warnings for this one when I read it. But once I started reading it, I could not put it down. Now here's where it gets worse. Being that I could not put it down, during a lecture, when I was reading this, and I think like March, maybe February, could not put it down, was almost finished. I think I had like this much. That's funny, I have to do a chapter. Probably chapter 19 to the end to read. So like this much left to read, right? I had to walk out of the lecture because I was reading during lecture, and not that my professor was mad. That's not why I had to leave. No, I had to leave because the end of this book had me absolutely sobbing in class. No one was paying attention to me. My professor didn't even realize because she didn't care. Every time she told me reading, she didn't care. But this book destroyed me. And now I know not to read Rebecca Yarros in a lecture when it's going to make me cry. If it's fantasy, I can go ahead and read it. contemporary romance, after Variation, and this, I've learned my lesson. Which is why, in the likely event, and the things we live unfinished are still here. Have not touched them since I was gonna read all of those ones after I read this. It did not happen. It will not happen. They're going to be read this year. But they're not going to be read while I'm at work or in school. So they're getting read on a day off. I might read them actually this week because I have 3 days off of work. Well, 2 days left now, but we'll see. This book destroyed me in the best way possible. And that is what's getting 5 stars. And I'm going to cry starting to think about it. So we're going to put that down before I start crying again. Next up, My Girl K. Nailed it home plate. Y'all, if you're a Savannah Bananas fan, or a Phillies fan, or any type of baseball fan, read this book. Read this book, okay? Based on Phillies, what? Just hit belt. Stickers. I'm dropping stickers. Based on a mix of the Savannah Bananas and the Philadelphia Phillies, my 2 favorite teams, they have to. This book, and by the way, guys, Kay and me, basically the same person, just different ages. Basically the same person. It's why we get along so well. She knows this. I've said this. We laugh about it. Love her. Read her book. That's all I have to say. It has a healing journey, and it has baseball. That's why I gave it 5 stars. The healing journey, priority. It was a priority for me. That book, this book specifically, the healing journey, for both characters. She was healing, he was healing, everyone was healing, and they did it together. And that is what matters. 5 stars. Okay, y'all are gonna question me for this one, because this one might have been for the vibes. It's fatty. Madness. I have no words for Madness. Madness was my favorite one in this series. Even though it's not over. It was my favorite one. Everything that this man did for her, I don't know. I have no words. I think this one was just for the vibes, quite frankly. It kind of probably might have been. It might have been just for the vibes, honestly. Hayden might have been for the vibes. But Hayden and Charlotte? Now that is a whole other story. It might have been for the vibes, but good vibes they were. Check the trigger warnings if you want to read this. That's all I have to say. Check the trigger warnings. That one was 5 stars purely for the vibes, but I had to throw it in there. I don't even know what to say. And that's a good thing. I know my face might have not said that, but that's a good thing. I was surprised, to say the least. The amount of tension in this whole book kept me on my toes. I know it took me a while to read it because of work and because of school, but the amount of tension kept me on my toes. In a good way. I have no words. I wish I had tabbed this book so you could see how I read this. When I do a reread, I will tab it. Because I've had stuff to tab books forever. Only recently started doing it. I don't even know what to say. Because I loved it. But I loved it because I did not expect any of it. Like, I feel like I expected Kai to get Peyton. I feel like I expected them together. But the way it happened was not what I expected. And that's why I got 5 stars. The fantasy aspect of it, the romance aspect of it, the overall plot, and then the plot twist. That's why I got 5 stars. Kai Azar forever plays my heart, and I cannot wait for the last novella, for Fearful. I don't know whether to be scared of it or excited for it, because I feel like it could break me. But Kai Azar, this man, not even the man that made this one for me. It was Peyton. Peyton, her growth, everything about this book. And overall, the plot, like I said, the plot twist, 5 stars from me. We're gonna touch the last 3 that are there later. Alright, we're gonna go with the first one I tabbed this year. When reading this, I was like, ooh, I was gonna read it on my Kindle, and then I realized it wasn't on KU. So this was, while reading it, I was like, I need to tab this book. You guys, you kind of saw it. You can't really see from there, but first of all, Releasing 10, The Beauty You Are. You can kind of see it here. All of that blue are the chapters I cried. I used an entire thing of blue tabs on this book alone. I had none left by the time I finished this book. None. I couldn't even tell you how many are here, but I can tell you this. The blue is Every Time I Cried. The green, what did I say the green was when I did this? Hang on, now I have to open it to green page. The green is the smut parts. The good smut parts, I should say. The pinkish one up here, that would be the trauma sections with He Who Shall Not Be Named. The orange is the little healing journey. The light pink is the moments that she realizes she loves him. Darker pink is when he realizes he loves her. And I forget what the purple was. I forget what I did purple for. Purple was something. But I broke for this book, clearly. I don't even have words to say why this was a 5-star read. I think if you read it, you would understand. Obviously, this is a major check the trigger warnings. This whole series is a check the trigger warnings. I know there was a lot of issues with this book, this being the major one, because that was incorrect. It's not going to focus, but I have to get ready for work soon. It broke me and healed me, and I loved it. I am so excited to continue their journey. I'm making so many connections now. My watch has been running a workout. That's what I just realized. Anyways, between this book and the rest of the series, 5 stars all around. I can't explain it, but I wish I could. I wish I could. Trying to explain it is honestly making me feel like I'm going to start crying, so I'm not going to. But I needed this. This book I read in a time of need. And I just want to say, for the people who are hating on this book, I feel like you're not understanding it. I get there's a lot of hate at the beginning because of what happened with trigger warnings and all that. It was never meant to be for that age group. It was always meant to be 18 and up. I bought this series before I turned 18, and I asked people who I followed, should I read it now or should I wait? They're like, wait. Just wait. I bought it. I started buying it about 3 months before I turned 18. So I had a while before I could read it. But they're like, just wait. I feel like it'll be easier, especially with the trigger warnings. They're like, just wait. Read it once you turn 18. It might be a little bit easier to read. And I understand why they had me wait. And it's been a year to the month of when I last read the first books in these series. And I find it funny that when I read Releasing 10, it was exactly a year from when I had started binding 13. this book series will always have my heart. This series will always be a top series for me. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. Lizzie and Huey. I can't. I'm gonna start crying if I keep talking about it, so we're gonna put that one down. Y'all are gonna question me for the tabs on this one. I had a lot of people questioning me on the tabs for this one. The Mindfuck series. Mindfuck series. The whole series took me about a week to read. Let's go over these tabs, because I've been getting questions about it when I show people my tabs. So, it's hard to kind of tell, but this one right here, which chapter is this? This light one right here that's sticking out the furthest, when I cried. I think I used that color one other time. Only 2 chapters in this book made me cry. Only 2. The dark gray, which kind of looks blue, but the dark gray is every time somebody, and then the, which one is it? The light one, the like pinkish one right here, every time they did it. The dark red is every time he says something like sappy love, but like a beautiful quote kind of thing. And then the orangish one is every time she realizes she loves him. Mindfuck series. I want to say it was the character growth, because she's on this whole revenge plot, this whole revenge scheme. And over the course of 5 books, she gets where she needs to be in life, but she also gets her soul back, is the way I want to phrase it. She gets her soul back. And I think it was the connection plus the plot. The connection between the characters plus the plot for this one. I have had this book in my room for a year now. I got the original cover from someone on eBay before it went out of print. And honestly, the fact that I waited this long to read it, I'm shocked by. I kept saying I was going to read it, and then I'm like, this is a little bit thick, we're going to wait. And I'm so glad I waited, because this book came at me, and I just needed it. I was having some anxiety attacks while reading it based on other stuff in my life, so like it took me a little bit longer to read. But I loved this, and I have recommended it to like everybody I know since I read it who like this genre, and they've all said they're like interested in it. So we have the Mindfuck series. Alright. The only one I forgot to grab, which I'm not going to grab it just because it's going to take a minute to get out, that I would recommend is King of Envy. Obviously, again, I love Anna Huang, so I'm just going to recommend Anna Huang books, but King of Envy was chef's kiss. 5 stars. That's all I'm saying for King of Envy. Now, back to where I was saying, we're going to talk about this series later. I just finished The Finish Line last night. Not even. I finished it at like midnight, so I kind of finished it like right after midnight today. Whew. Purely, I picked up Flock because at the time, I was like, ooh, I'm on a Why Choose Graze. Why Choose Bender. Looked on Goodreads, it had a tag for Why Choose, picked it up. Then I was like, wait, it's one in a trilogy. I didn't actually read it, like read the first one before I bought the whole trilogy. I just bought the whole trilogy. Did not realize that only the first book was Why Choose. But that's okay, because then I read Exodus and Finish Line. And I ditched the Why Choose plot for this. Broke me. Dominic King. Forever. I'm scared because I'm currently reading One Last Rainy Day. Like I said, I posted it on my Instagram story while reading it. Tobias King. That man, once I realized how honest Tobias was with her versus the other two, that was kind of where it got me. Now, I know based on this one, I know there were a lot of trust issues. He was very good at lying to her, but he did it out of love and protection. The other two just lied to her. He told her the truth that they wouldn't. Did he go about it wrong? Yes. Did he get the girl of his dreams? Yes. Dude's been in love with her since she was 11. Since she was 11. Now, again, it is an age gap. It's not a bad age gap. When I say it like that, it might sound bad. But he was a father to his brother. At age 16, he fell in love with the girl. The girl happened to be 11. But there was a reason of why he wanted her safe. And his brothers didn't go about it the right way. That's fine. The plot in this trilogy, the emotions I felt, the tears I cried, is why it's getting 5 stars. I'm scared to read the Legacy series because I've heard it's gonna make you cry. And I'm only 6% into One Last Rainy Day. But this series changed me. And I don't think anything will ever top Tobias King. I could say that now and in 2 hours change my mind. But that is how I feel about Tobias King. I need a moment of silence for Tobias. Anyways, that was 2025 so far. I feel like it was very chaotic because I said, let's give you a recap. It was kind of like a, do I recommend? Yes, maybe no, but they're all yeses. I kind of just picked, like, if I were to do a yes, maybe no, all of the books I've read from 2025 that are yeses, and threw them in a stack and said, let's talk about it. Now the fun part is I have to put all of these back on my shelf and find room for this one, because this is, like, falling onto me. Just want you to see how high this book pile was with the recommends. Engage just said, like, hello. Hi. We're gonna take that down because I'm literally holding that up with my leg right now. This is a dumb idea to do that. Now I have to put all these back, which is gonna take forever, but I have to get ready for work, so I might just leave them in a stack on my floor and take care of them later. We'll see how I do. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you loved all the book recs, and I will see you guys next time I have things to talk about. I'm probably gonna do a whole video on the Ravenhood Legacy and series. I don't know yet, because as you can see, I was very awkward with my words today for that one. But we'll see. So, I have glitter on my face. That's great. I will see you guys next time.